Whoa. Oh my goodness. What? I stream occasionally and it's cold in my room and I should really put a sweatshirt on? No, actually, I say that. I know for a moment, the moment I put a sweatshirt on, I will start like heating up as I actually start to do stuff on stream. My body goes into critical mode, and I'll start sweating profusely. So how about I wait a little bit? How about I wait a little bit, bear the cold? I'm always saying I like the cold more than the heat, and maybe if I stay cold like an hour into stream, we can think about me putting on the sweatshirt. What was I thinking of? Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm tired. I've been kind of taking it slow today, I'll admit. There was like a whole thing. There was a thing at work today about me going a little slow, but here's the thing, I still did a crazy amount of work, so I'm just tired. I'm literally, I don't know what I'm gonna do after I, hi Laz, hope you're doing well. I don't know what I'm gonna do after Monster Hunter Wilds comes out. Okay? I might have to quit my job. I might have to quit my job. And it's not because I'll be playing so much Monster Hunter Wilds, but because I won't have a thing to be working for. Like, I won't be like, well, as long as I successfully get through work today, I can look forward to purchasing Monster Hunter Wilds on February 28th. No, that won't be a thing. And that'll be a real problem. Because that's a lot of my motivation right now. I've been talking about going on another trip around my birthday, but I don't know. You know? I am looking into, and this will be, what about early days? But that, Laz, Laz, I don't know how to tell you this. Early days comes out before Monster Hunter Wilds. Even if I were to completely switch my focus from Wilds to early days, if anything, I'd be quitting my job sooner. One day, yeah. But still, you're like, but Cahill, wouldn't that clearly be an extent? Wouldn't that picture? Couldn't that help you hang on a bit longer? Then I'm like, no, because it comes out before.
Yippers.
But yeah, that's the other part of it, right? I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I will say this, Lord, knock on wood that my work never finds my streams, because I've told wacky stories about work on here, and occasionally I straight up complain. I'm sure my family sees it differently because they always talk to me like this, but like, you know, I wouldn't count not wanting to go into work on a Monday the same as like complaining about the job you have, you know what I mean? But I have been thinking about switching careers, perhaps to a more studious, a more educational pursuit recently. So I might be doing it. I don't know. I was thinking, I was like, it'd be nice to have a job where I'm not basically working out the entire time. I don't know how much I said this on stream, but I have thought before about like how many jobs just want me from a young, supple body, and I'd love a job that isn't. I'd love a job where they weren't like, oh, you're a young man. What a young gentleman, capable of lifting heavy things. Would you like to do that for minimum wage? So, anyway, do I have a command for my site? Let me see something real quick. What about website? There we go. Go buy my book. I put out today. My grandma said she liked my book. If my grandma likes my book, you have to go get my book. Grandma Cahill said, it was a good book. I made my grandma read cosmic horror, and she liked it. Okay, guys, listen. Before we start art, let me just propose something to you, alright? So, I will provide 10 of you guys with copies of my books, right? Okay, you with me so far? And then, what we'll do there is we'll have this, like, program set up where, like, you'll get money if you sell the book, but you'd get even more money if you get other people to sell the book, you know, for you. And that'll just keep going. So if they get people to start selling the book and stuff, they'll get more money. And we can just do this forever. Also, I'm describing a pyramid scheme if you don't know. And we can just do this forever. And it'll be fine. And everyone will be happy. For sure. There's some kind of triangular shit. Is multi-level marketing the is that like the legal term for it, or is that the term they use to be like this isn't a pyramid scheme? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm a lawyer prosecuting someone for a pyramid scheme, would I call it multi-level marketing? Or if I'm trying to do a pyramid scheme, would I call it multi-level marketing? Both. Oh, okay. I mean, that's good. As long as we're all on the same page that it's all a scam, and please don't fall for it. If anyone, literally, I literally learned all of this by watching the one John Oliver segment. So this that's why I came right out and be like, "There's a pyramid scheme." If you don't know, if anyone ever comes to you with a proposition where it's like you can be your own boss, and the best way to make money is to get other people to join, that's a pyramid scheme. Don't do it. And if you think maybe it's legit, I want you to do like I want you to go do a lot of reading, and I want you to be 100% sure that whatever it is you're about to get in on isn't a pyramid scheme, because it probably would be a pyramid scheme, so don't do it. Anyway, art. This is the lead. But anyway, let's also, hi Greg, hi Beba, hi Laiaz. But yes, I need to do fucking advertising for my book. I should have had a widget set up for the book on stream, because I didn't even stream yesterday, and I forgot to. Yesterday was a whole thing. Also first, let me show, we finished Shulk. That's transparent because I'm using that kind of as a base model for all the other ones. I did Fiora, and now we're doing Rain. And oh my goodness, you could grind meat on those things. Parrot, you got it. What was I just thinking of? Yeah, I should have set that up. Yesterday was a whole thing. I woke up, like, I stayed up late Saturday. I think a lot of this last weekend was revenge time for me, you know, where it's just like I was like I spent too much time at work on the weekdays and what have you. Shall I give you this bear? So I'm gonna stay up late on the weekend. So then I slept until like 12 on Sunday, right? And then a real life event came up that I wouldn't even be around for, that made it so that I wouldn't even be around during stream. So then I just cut my losses. Oh, oh, that's Greg. I was like, who is that? It's Greg. Anyway, but what was I thinking of? What was I thinking of? Alright. But yeah, so I wasn't even doing like hyper productive stuff yesterday. I did some little things, and then I was like, you know, oh boy, need to get to it. I want to make some advertisements for the book, just in general, but also ones that talk about. I don't want to try and talk down to anyone, but I want to, like, you know, I want to make little informative ads about, like, cosmic horror, narrative structure, yeah, stuff I am interested in, as a way to help kind of illustrate. It's like, and then I made this because I am interested in these things. That would require me to record audio. We were doing good. After the book came out, I did the whole stream about making little advertisement assets, but then I just haven't made it yet. But yeah, so. I don't want to talk down to anyone but as I stand above them. Nah. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but like, even if it's something I know, if I get a little informative video across my For You page or whatever, I'll still watch it, like, if it's presented well. I'm like, I know this trivia fact, but I like listening to this. So, that's the kind, that would be specifically the thing. Like, if one of my advertisements has me calling H.P. Lovecraft a shithead, most people know H.P. Lovecraft is a shit. I don't have to explain that to you. You already know that. But, you know, maybe I'll present it in a fun way that you do not realize. Yeah. I was just thinking, I wouldn't just make a whole slander video. Is it really slander if it's true? I wouldn't make a whole slander video on Lovecraft as a, you know, as an advertisement, but also, you know, it's kind of ignoring the elephant in the room if you're like cosmic horror and then you don't talk about him at all. Even if you don't want to call him the inventor of it, that's fine. But like, popularizer would be definitely an apt term. So I do not watch Philosophy 2. I'm not familiar with it. Oh my! Can I say I was in a meme channel in one of the discords I'm in the other day, and like they were talking about stuff, and someone says something. It's like, oh yeah, Doobie Gooby, or like a name like that, posted a video today talking about this, and I was like, that can't be a real name. And then someone's like, oh, I have to watch that. It was a serious conversation. And I was like, I guess that's a real channel. Niche. Well, see, that's kind of why, that's another reason why I think any little advertisement I make for Alex and what have you would have to mention, like, Lovecraft and stuff. Because he's literally meant to be the opposite of that. Right? Like, okay. So, like, let's take Dubis Goobis. That's a real one, and we love Dubis Goobis. Let's take Cthulhu, okay? It's the one everyone knows, right? Cthulhu, big guy. He's so big, he doesn't even care about humanity. Humanity is as to ants upon him, right? Whatever, yada, yada, yada. Don't talk about the wildly problematic parts of that story. Okay, you with me so far? Good. That was the thing, you know. And then there's, like, I know there's a pantheon, and Cthulhu's not at the top. So there's someone above him, and they feel the same way. Like, they're like the king to Cthulhu, so at that point, it's like, you know, humans are, if even, ants to them, yada yada yada. And then, like, every other cosmic horror story ever has basically done that. Okay, you feel me? Alex, and I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, I've made the most specialist boy, okay? But Alex, by comparison, would be far above them in a cosmological structure, okay? But at that point, he's so far up that the only thing he cares about are people and other living things. Like, there's nothing, fucking... What else is he gonna do? Just, like, hang out in the nebulous void of space? Guess I'll crush a planet, like... The only thing that is at all interesting to him is people. So, which becomes cruelly ironic because some people are wildly freaked out by it. It's the plot of the story. And I don't even know if the current one is even that good, because it basically just serves as an introductory chapter for these concepts. But I can't make more of it if no one reads. I mean, I can make more of it if no one reads it. But I'd be doing so at my own expense. I hope I hope you know what I mean when I say that. When I say this, I do hope you mean that. I don't know if that's me being paranoid or cosmic horror. I don't know if that's me being paranoid or whatever. But I genuinely hope no one is like, I like it, just because they're like, I know you. I hope if anyone reads the stuff, they're like, I like it, because I like it. Hi, Paula. Well, I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you, Meat. I hope you'll consider sharing it. Yeah, I'm sorry to keep plugging my own stuff, but, you know. I would like to make more and do well. I expect it to be that good. I prefer you to say that. Honestly, at me, either you're doing double reverse psychology when you say that, or you just mean it. And I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and assume that you mean it. Get up, get down. Also, by the way, so next week I want to play and finish Sonic Superstars, which, hot take, I like Sonic Superstars. And part of that is because afterwards, Monster Hunter Wilds comes out, and like, shocking, all 3 streams I do that week are going to be Monster Hunter Wilds. And you're like, Cahill, Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days comes out too. We're gonna do a few streams with that, a few different ways. But first, Monster Hunter Wild. The Monster Hunter Wilds is the one that I'll probably be grind. Like, okay, fighting monsters by itself is entertaining, whether I'm at level 1 or level 100, right? And that's not how Monster Hunter works, but you get what I'm saying. But fucking no one wants to see me grind for Jinzo for like 20 hours. So I'm getting in the Monster Hunter first, and then once I've played enough Early Days to be like, well, I have a deck now. Then we'll play some of that. Simple. So yeah, so next week I'm going to be doing Sonic Superstars. But also, I was just playing more Sonic on my own time. You know something I realized? I think last time we played Sonic CD, aka the only time we played Sonic CD, I had the US soundtrack on, and it already makes me want to replay Sonic CD on stream, because the Japanese soundtrack to that game fucking rocks. So, I don't think we're going to be replaying Sonic CD super soon, but... you know. But yeah. I have been working more on my card game concept, which I have decided I do not want to bother people with alpha testing on, alpha or beta testing. Just like, I don't think anyone actually wants to play a scuff version of the game, and that's fine. Um, for my purposes, it might just be best if I try to balance it as best I can on paper, have some card players look over that paper, and then say like, well, this looks like Pot of Greed, and that's banned. And I'm like, okay, you got it. I'll change that. You know what I mean? And then I can write a story around it, which is what I want to do from the beginning. Which will save everyone a lot of time and effort. But yeah, I should consider making a bit more progress on Alex's next endeavor. I do want to set, like, I am planning for the next one to have a good bit more cosmic horror junk in there, on top of other sci-fi shits, because this one was, I think, you know, the reason it's the length it is because I was like, short story isn't long enough, but I'm not doing a whole ass fucking book for several reasons. So I went kind of middle ground novella route, and I think it serves okay for that, but the more I can expand on it with more stories, the better I think it will get. Bit of a One Piece situation going on here, you know? One Piece might be okay at chapter 1. It gets much better later on. I don't mean to compare myself to One Piece. I'm just using the, what I do, I'm on 2 layers right now, so I click in the lines here, expand them so there's no little, like, white gaps or anything, and then I go on the bottom layer and I just color under it. Yeah, Rain here does just kind of have a big penis-y shape in his outfit, so Pig might be upset about that, but talk to Xenoblade. It cannot be helped. Yeah, I'd love to just sit at home and do art. I put that on Blue Sky as well. Because and I hope, like, knock on wood, my family doesn't find my blues. No, I don't care. But, like, 2 different members of my family separately the other night was like, hey, I would love it if you had more art in your book. And I'd be like, hey, I'd love it if I could do it. Like, I apologize. I don't even mean to be that sassy, but I don't know what you want me to tell you. As a kid, I read a lot of, I read these series called Great Illustrated Classics, and they were abridged versions of classic books and stuff. And they had a drawing on basically like every other page that would visualize, you know, major plot points in different parts of classic literature. Have a good lurk, meat. I'd love to do something like that, but that takes a lot of time. What was I thinking of? I feel like that's probably one reason I just keep screaming, like, I hope people get the book. Because at the end of the day, if you think I did even a decent good job at it, I'm like, I could do better if I was paid to sit down and think about it. Maybe that's everyone, but I don't know. What was the thing I was talking about with narrative structure? Oh yeah, making advertisements about that. Like that, I mean, I feel like that's one thing I bring to the table and something I can use to help improve my work is that I love studying what makes things work and not work in different pieces of literature and studying theories. And this might be flawed. In fact, I literally on the Wikipedia page I saw it. There was like I was looking up an index of like collecting archetypes and tales online the other day. And I think that's interesting, and I wasn't able to like properly sit down and go through the whole thing, but I should. I think doing that can in some way help make sure you're not just reusing a bunch of tropes, at least unintentionally, in your story, and then, you know, just knowing where you're coming from, knowing where you're going. Don't get me wrong. Sure, plenty of people can make a good story just off the dome and then improve it as they sit and think about it. But I also think being informed about the grander kind of history of well-known stories and storytelling can help refine that process even further. Of course, that's my that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. It's not like I'm a successful movie maker or bookseller or anything. So there is that, but I be trying. If nothing else, maybe that'll just make my life and its work a interesting experiment, but we'll see. We shall see. Dun, 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 dun. I forget if I said this on stream, but oh no, I was saying this to my family the other day, but like I've been getting interested in like how Tolkien spent his life writing stuff down. And I'd love to go through all that as well, but again, as we're running into the same issues over and over again. It's like, I'd love to have the time to do that. Oh no, this is rain color. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your rain. That's definitely the line. Definitely the line. It's definitely how the song goes. Okay, and then expand 20 around those edges. That's not what I meant to do. Invert. No, that's still shrinking. I'm into inflation. Well, that's online forever. Oops. Was jamming out the soundtrack. It was just a shorter like playlist I made. My favorites from like Sonic CD and shit. So it's probably gonna repeat a decent amount throughout stream, but I don't know. I was jamming with it, so. All right, got rain. All set with that. Next guy. Boom, 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 boom. I do need this. Is the thing. What else? There we go. This guy too. And then make sure to popsicle. I love how I copy the popsicle like with the little character model. But it's not like I don't really do anything with it for the majority of like drawing. So yeah, honestly, I feel more than anything I'm just like, I mean, this is, maybe it's just the nature of like hyperfixation, yada yada yada, but I'm just kind of bored with a lot of stuff, and I'd rather be working on the things I really like to do. So, and on it, I don't know if that makes it like, because Jaden Animations has a whole video talking about like figuring out she has ADHD and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe I should get that looked at, but I'd at least like to give it a shot of like, well, let me try and do the things I'm interested in, and then maybe I'll be more open to doing stuff I consider boring more. You get what I'm trying to say here? To some degree, I feel like a lot of stuff is boring to me when I'm being, you know, coaxed into doing it. So it doesn't make me excited to do things that aren't what I explicitly want to do. I was about to say that word really weird. Pigs is probably gonna yell at me for this, but it's gonna be funny. So, listen, all I know is from what I've listened to of Pig's script, this is an appropriate joke for Dunban's character model. So, I'm going with it. Ugh. That being said, we do need to definitely keep his hair. He's got Sephiroth ass hair. I was looking up like the lyrics to like One Winged Angel today, because I was listening to I was watching a video and someone did like a joke version, and I was like, I do think that is roughly like that, you know, it was nonsense words. And I do think though that is like somewhat what it sounds like. So now you piqued my interest. What are the actual Latin words? And I've definitely looked that up before, like every nerd who's played Final Fantasy VII, but quick reminder. It's not like I can put it to heart the first time. It's not like I knew One Winged Angel off the top of my head. You know, I've seen a decent amount of like Kingdom Hearts videos and stuff on my feed recently. And like, I've definitely in somewhat recent memory been like, maybe I should revisit Kingdom Hearts again. Time issue, but bear with me for a second. I feel like part of revisiting that would be like, is Sephiroth scarier in those games than he is in Final Fantasy VII and like Crisis Core and whatever the heck else, whatever other Final Fantasy VII spin-offs he's in? I definitely remember Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts being a terrifying motherfucker. No IRL Cahill. I wish. Look at his follicle consistency. If I could grow a beard like this, I definitely wouldn't be the baby-faced homeless man that I appear to be in real life. That's the best way I could find to describe myself, honestly. Constantly switching between the aesthetics of baby-faced and homeless man. A Sparcy Perry is a fair entity. A Sparcy Perry is a fair entity. Sephiroth. Bada boom. Sephiroth. You know what other character hairstyle this is? It's definitely a Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! But then again, what isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! To me? If it's not Sonic, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! And if it's not Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's Monster Hunter. That's my world right now, and I'm okay with that. Juggling a couple of hyperfixations around. You know how we do. How do you find the strength to go on? I like video games. I'd like to play more with them. That's me in real life. Again, I'm sure Pig will yell at me for drawing Dunban like this, but haha, funny joke. Listen, he's not a turtle. I think it'll be fine. I've definitely asked Pig about including it. Who knows? Maybe we'll put a gigachad in every, like, Xenoblade Chronicle game. Be like, and this is the cool character. You know? As shown via his art in this video. That'll be fun. Not to spill too much tea. But the only thing in way of, like, release Pig has even mentioned is, like, when they announced the X re-release for Switch, which he had been fiending for so long. He was like, do you think we could do that? And even he was like, no, probably not, but give it an old college try. What was I just thinking of? I had a thought that related to, like, release. I mean, I definitely want to, even if I'm kind of slow going ATM, as I do, in fact, still try to keep up with this, though. I do hope Pig is still like, yeah, we still want to make the Xenoblade video. I would hate if me taking time to do art or anything else affected Pig's passion for something he's trying to make. I hope at that point he would just be like, okay, Cahill, I'm going with someone else. Fingers crossed. He is a nice, polite man. So. Honestly, this is looking very fun so far. I like it. We'll see if anyone else does. President's Day. I don't even get off President's Day. It was not a holiday for me, like, 2 times over. Because first off, no one does anything for President's Day. And second off, if you don't get off for it, then, like, there is no holiday. It becomes as much as a holiday as just like, oh my goodness, it's National Beehive Day, and it's like, what's that? It's the day to be aware of beehives, and it's like, well, I'm kind of aware of beehives every day. Like, don't get me wrong, you made me think about it by talking about it in this instance, but doesn't mean I'm gonna go out and celebrate in any particular way. And furthermore, this is kind of a facet of my life that's always present. So. I was literally about to be like National Bacon Day, but honestly, people almost certainly celebrate National Bacon Day as more of a thing than President's Day. I know that for a fact. Granted, the way you celebrate, kind of self-explanatory, but... Fucking, if I came home to a nice plate of bacon and some sides after a long day in the mines, I would 100% count that as more of a holiday than President's Day, where I didn't get off and I didn't get bacon. We're still gonna give him a very like simple nose and eyes, but I do want to be like give him the gigachad smile. I don't know if it was related to gigachad, but do y'all remember that one thing where it would be like the quote-unquote perfect face, and it would just be like some drawing of some face looking forward, and then people would be like rearranging photos of people and not people to it? Do you know what I'm talking about or no? Yeah, Greg, that's how I feel explicitly. Good luck. Yeah. Honestly, back to what I was talking about with work and stuff. If I did go into work tomorrow, yeah, well, see, that's because gigachad is also kind of something from like those corners of the internet, except it was adopted to be something a bit better. I think a lot of people were memeing on it, specifically. Granted, there was definitely people who took that kind of stuff seriously, but they're crazy. What was I just thinking of? I was thinking of something. But yeah, I mean, gigachad does have its origins in pretty similar circles, no doubt. No doubt. I do think gigachad has ended up being adopted for slightly better uses, though. Whereas that was just making fun of the fact that that face was unrealistic and just kind of entirely bullshit. Everyone's like, this is how no one looks. honestly, this kind of works. Wait. I might be onto something. Let me cook. Cook something that pig won't eat. The pig will demand be returned to the kitchen. Okay, so for eyes, what we'll do is we'll just black circle, fucking Coraline's eyes up in this bitch. Oh, that guy actually, that kind of hits. That works. That kind of works. I'm gonna give him eyebrows too, which no other character will be graced with. But for Dunban, you know. Okay, we might have to move these around a little bit. There we go. Maybe move them down. eyebrows. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna move this smile over a bit. It's leaning a bit to one side, but that works for me. Okay, yeah. Oh, hello? Oh, I'm not on like the polyline. I'm on square. Be there, me square. And he was square. He does have a little like chin fuzz at the bottom. So how about we can't give him the full beard, but we'll give him like one of like these. Sick. Good times. Okay. And I was also thinking, why not, how about we just like, I almost feel like, what if we just don't show his arms? Especially because in part, so what's the idea behind the jawline? He's a gigachad. It's a little fucked up, but so everyone else is a potato. That being said, you said that did make me think, like, let me do this. Anyway, but yeah. Listen, you can be in this version of Xenoblade, you can choose to be potato or gigachad. There is no in between. There we go. I'm down for that. And then we will work with his cape here. Oh my lord. Drawing this made me think. In like Pig's Discord, someone shared a cover of what I can only imagine is a smut novel. Not even because anything on it was inherently explicit, but because only blah blah. I was so messed up saying that, but only because smut novels have these kinds of like titles, and it was I accidentally threw a love potion at a werewolf. Might as well go full Squidward hands face. We're gonna leave it here because you have a point, Trom, but I feel like Squidward handsome face comes with a different feeling, whereas this point is just like he's confident. But Trom, if Pig hard vetoes this, then you know I'll keep your suggestion in mind. But yeah, so someone shared a thing that was like I threw a love potion at a werewolf. And there were two characters like canoodling, not sex, but you know, just cuddling on the cover. And one of them was just Asterion from Baldur's Gate. And I was like, is that twink from Baldur's Gate? And Stealth agreed with me, and I mean he's about as much of an expert on Baldur's Gate as I know of. So I'll take that to mean that I'm right. Also, I would love to do little curtain things, but Does he have little... No, he doesn't. I was gonna ask, does he have little shoulder pads? I was doing this at first, but honestly, I might just give him like a flowing cape behind him, because this isn't looking too good. So we'll do that. We shall do that. So instead of what we were doing, it'll look more like... barrel on the beach, that would be funny. Yeah. Yeah, if my book starts selling well, first things I do are, you know, full-time artist, and then all my streams are just like Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate. It's like, well, I have all the time in the world now. So we're going to do a 300-hour playthrough, chat. I hope you're ready. I've said that before, where it's just like, just with life. Games that big are just like, oh, I don't know if I can play that. Which is unfortunate, considering how many people are just like, well, Baldur's game is maybe the greatest game of all time. And I'm like, I can somewhat believe that. I haven't played it, but I'll be willing to believe it. That being said, I have beaten Elden Ring like 2 or 3 times now. And I gotta say, it's a pretty dang good game. Granted, I just think it has great world building via like level design and shit. Like, I think Elden Ring has one of the most believable worlds. I don't know if believable is the right word. Physical, which is a weird way to say it, but you know. I can see this world existing in being a thing people inhabit it. Yada yada, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. Maybe you don't. I need to take allergy medicine, what I need to do, because my eye has started itching, and that is interrupting my every thought. Anyway. But yeah, I do want to... When I'm running around the levels of Elden Ring, often I'm not like, I'm running through a level in a video game. It feels like running through an actual building, or what have you. And I appreciate that, on top of the gameplay. So... Elden Ring has definitely grown on me over the years, as opposed to when it first came out, and I was kind of lukewarm on it. I can admit that. Sekiro, on the other hand, Sekiro I will be mad at, to my dying breath. They'll never take this from me. If Sekiro has no haters, I am dead. Killed by Mr. Sekiro himself. I definitely remember the high. And I almost certainly talked about this before when I played through it on stream, but like I remember like the highlights of that game and enjoy them. But Lord in heaven. As a whole, I would rather just play like Bloodborne or Dark Souls or Elden Ring. Or maybe even a not FromSoft Souls-like. Like some of those could be better, I don't know. But I'd be willing to give them a shot before I replay Sekiro. Sekiro, hesitation is defeat. More like, Sekiro, this presentation isn't neat. Well, I appreciate y'all tuning in for my last stream. That'll be the end for me. Thank you so much for being here. I'm not gonna lie. It's just, I load up character art from Xenoblade, I look at it, and I'm just like, oh lord. I have to like simplify this. What in the world? What in the world could I simplify about this? I clearly already have a chip on my shoulder about Sekiro. I'm gonna get one about Xenoblade. Just with character designs. I'll finally play the games, and I'll see an over-designed character join my party or be in the world, and I'll be like, fucking, just start grumbling to myself. Fucking, of course you would. 22 belt buckles. Turn it up, get down. I'll literally just be singing Stardust Speedway to myself over the day. It's a good song. Ah, I've zoomed in 3,200%. Why would I ever need to do that? Ugh. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of chilling out right now. It's like I said, I mean, I gotta go into work tomorrow. It is, so, along that Monster Hunter Wilds thought I was having before, part of it is the fact that, you know, as plans for Wilds, I scheduled some days off, so, like, I'm looking forward to those. And obviously after Wilds comes out, I won't have them anymore, so. This is my last full week before the game comes out. And then I have off Friday next week, which is nice. I'm probably not going to be playing with anyone for Friday or Saturday. Just because, like, I don't know. I don't even expect to get through, like, all the story or anything on that day. On those days. But, conversely, like, I'd like some time to grind and build up my own character before I hop into, like, a lobby. And I'm like, hey guys, check this out. Especially knowing, like, I got into Monster Hunter in part because I know a decent amount of people who play it. And I don't need to hop into a lobby with them who, in the first day, have already gotten, like, past the initial story, like, well into the post-game. You'd have top-of-the-line equipment. And I'm like, well, I basically still just have starting gear. So, I guess I'll hang out in the back. I was gonna take some time to, like, because, listen, that's gonna happen no matter what. I could not sleep, eat, or piss for 48 hours. Only play Monster Hunter. Optimally grinding for the exact, like, cool armor and weapons I want. And my friends are still gonna be ahead of me. And I've accepted that. That's fine. I'm okay with it. But I would still like to be like, yeah, this is what I chose. You know? I want to be deep enough to the game that I can at least... Holy shit. That's a new one. Oh, that is in English. I really thought that wasn't in English for a minute. But yeah, I do want to be deep enough into the game that I can be like, this is the outfit and weapon I chose, and not what I went with because I had like 2 options. It's like the difference between, like, you're gonna show up to a party and everyone's gonna look better than you no matter what. But the difference is, like, showing up with an outfit you picked at least versus letting your mom dress you. I show up fucking, like, chairs already in the Fatalis armor. I don't want to, I at least want to be like, yeah, I like this one. I like this armor. And not like, well, this is the starting gear, so, you know, it's what I'm in. I am interested to see it. I'm almost certainly people have gotten, like, they definitely let you play, like, the intro and stuff to that game. I don't know exactly how you, like, you know, design and choose your weapon and stuff, but I do like the cutscene I've seen in, like, the trailers, where they, what's it thinking of? Where, like, your friends throw you, like, your weapon and everything. That's cool. Honestly, I'm okay with this. I do kind of... you know what? I hate to do this, because it is kind of an iconic look, but I think we have to take away the lightning bolts on him. I'm sorry. I don't think there's a way that's gonna make that look good here. He's too much of his face, and the rest is potato. Even if I were to be mathematically optimal, those lightning bolts are gonna look squiggly. So, yeah, that's better. That's better, and Pig's still gonna be upset that I drew him like this, but we have fun here. So, you're so valid for that, Paula. What was the thing though? I've thought it before. Like, I have a bunch of Fantastic Four I still need to read. I've thought before about, like, what comics I need to read for different characters. And I've done research on it. You know what I was thinking about earlier today? Human Torch, and I'm not talking Johnny Storm, which I don't know if any of you are happy to hear. But because the Human Torch was that was a golden era hero. He was like one of the first heroes Marvel ever made, and then they repurposed him when for the Fantastic Four. But the original is named Jim Hammond. He fought with Captain America in the World War. And I was like, that guy's interesting. And he's also a robot. He's not a guy. He's ironically not a Human Torch. You could just call him a torch. But stuff I've seen of him seems cool. Especially, you know, given the fact that, for the most part, like, he has come back before, but in a lot of ways, it is seen that, like, Johnny is now the Human Torch and he's not. I get that, Paula. Yeah, I got the Patreon up and stuff, and yada yada yada. But, in as much as I say, get my book, watch after y'all self. I hope that is obvious by now, because I've back in the day, like, when I was starting out streaming, I would say that a lot. In part because it's true, and in part because, like, Barry would say it a lot. And I definitely wouldn't distress people, like, make sure you're watching after yourself, but it bears repeating, especially in our modern day and age, so make sure y'all are taken care of first. I appreciate even any thought. Honestly, if you're like, I have no money to support Cahill, that's fine. If you want to show up to stream, that works. I would, listen, be like, I have no money, but I've shown up to every Cahill stream. I'm like, well, then you're doing great. You are supporting me plenty. You owe me nothing. Both before you showed up to every stream and after. So. I mean it with any ounce of my body that if you like share my comics and hang out and stream, you're probably doing me more service than any amount of subscriptions could. Unless, you know, it's like 1 million subscriptions, in which case, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, 1 million subs would be pretty cool, but wildly unrealistic for one person to gift or have, and I still might like you sharing my comics, so yeah, everyone's going through it. So heck, that's why even if it's not my like job, I like streaming. I like streaming and making stuff for people. I think it's nice. I like doing it. I like to be a little distraction for folks, if nothing else. So I'm not trying to paint myself like some hero. I'm just like, you know, I'd just be saying. If anything, it's me trying to, again, stress that you do not need to give me money to make it be like, oh my goodness, thank you. Too much talk of money. Who even cares about money? I want adventure in the great wide somewhere. I wanted more than I can tell. You know, that stuff. And dunban. Oh. I did get a good amount of sleep last night, which is kind of weird. Because I did know, like, I didn't necessarily, like, I went to sleep basically when I would have ended stream. So, in all honesty, I probably still could have streamed, like, if I was able to stream, I probably still could have, and then slept the same amount, but, I don't know. Bodies are weird. Honestly, even if I can't help everyone, like, physically, I hope y'all get some good sleep. Sleep is honestly a great way to just be like, I'm not worrying about anything right now. I don't even mean that as, like, a existential, like, I don't exist when I sleep or whatever. I mean that purely in, like, the I am comfy. I am comfy. I'm relaxed, not doing any strenuous activities. And when you wake up, you know, assuming it's not an abrupt, scary wake up, when you wake up, hopefully you're well rested, and you're able to at least do a few things without being tired again. That being said, I know the feeling of like, I've woken up. I am tired again. That's me more often than not. So, honestly, no pressure even on that front. I would still just hope friends get some well-earned rest, though. Man, I got like a... This was like a while ago now, and I did post in Discord when I got it. I got like a $20 Kirby at Target, like a good bit ago. And you want to know something? That was the best purchase I've made in a hot minute. I fucking love hugging that Kirby. Kirby's great. And unironically, I think my life is better for having big squimpshy Kirby that I come home to. So. Ugh. Itch my eye. That's gonna be soon. Well, I hope you have off of work soon enough, me, to get you some good sleep. Because I do get it. I'm not saying that, like, I need to have no plans in order to get good sleep, but a typical day job definitely, I feel like, fucks with anyone's sleep schedule. Probably more than it should, because when so much of your day is dedicated to something, there's no doubt that you're probably interrupting a good amount of sleep to get there on time and shit. Change pants color. Alexa, show me this guy's balls. What the fuck? Okay? I don't know if that came up on stream, but there was a little side bit which I did not appreciate. Alexa? Alexa, are you here? I don't know if I've said this on stream before. I do not like Alexa or any of those things. And this was before AI was like an art stealing machine for stealing and ruining art. Like, I was just like, what the fuck am I... like, they're kind of funny when I'm over a friend's house, I guess. But what the hell am I gonna... I don't care, like... Do I need to know the weather? Okay, I'm gonna walk outside. I genuinely... Because all this shit came out after, like, phones and the internet and phones that had the internet. I genuinely feel like it takes more effort to talk to Alexa and correct her and yada 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 than it would to just, like, whip out your phone or whatever and type in there, like, hey, here's a question I have. And meanwhile, most people are, like, pretty sure they're like little robot spot. And I'm like, I'm not even trying to be conspiracy theory about that. But, okay, but guess what? You want to know the other thing? If you have Alexa, you can't say the name Alexa. Because then she starts listening. And is like, do you want something? It's like, no, I was talking to my friend who's actually meet person named Alexa, who I'm not going to, like, abbreviate or change their name just because you're here. But yeah, not to get into like the oh my goodness, everyone's spying on you all the time, even though, you know, but but even if there was like a okay, let's say that a company came out with an Alexa and they said 0.1% of these things contains devices to spy on you. I wouldn't get it. There's... Because if it's the same utility as the ones we have in real life, if it's that same level of utility, it wouldn't be... They could give them out for free! And I'd be like, that's not worth it! I'm not gonna use it. It's kind of an eyesore, honestly. And even the smallest chance that it would have a slightly negative impact on my life is too much. And yet, my family has it. My grandparents and my family here has it. So... yeah, I mean, that happens a lot, Trom. You know? Like, there's plenty of examples of people just talking random shit and then the device comes on, whether for some insidious purpose or just because, you know, they heard you wrong, which, I mean, fucking, they hear you wrong all the time. That's like that's their actual primary function, is hearing people wrong. Yeah, I mean, that's been stuff for a while, and like, that's kind of why I'm not putting on like a tinfoil hat, because I would be willing to believe that any like spying happening from an Alexa or what have you is just to fucking make your ad preferences, which like sucks, but it's like, okay, whatever. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. No, yeah. Yeah, no. I don't want them. And just in case, we have AI, not like, you know, art stealing machines, but like an Ultron Terminator kind of thing where they gain sentience. I want to be clear. You're not what I'm talking about. If Alexa is sentient, that wildly shocks me, and I apologize. But fucking they clearly don't let her show it off, that's for sure. in which you reach out, that is funny. Yeah, I always feel bad, right? Because you have so many pieces of media with like robot pals and stuff. But the problem isn't even that we have that now and are running into issues. The problem is we don't have that now, and they brand all that stuff like it, and it's like, no, that's not the same on several levels for several reasons. So I'm never talking about you, Mega Man. I love you. OG Mega Man, rock. I adore you, buddy. Heck, I'd fight for your peace, your everlasting peace. You go chill out. You go chill out with Rush. I got this one. Cut to me punching Wily in the face repeatedly. Roll is also great. Like, I do like Roll, but like, she wasn't the one. By whatever twist of fate, she was not the one augmented into a battle robot out of pure necessity and forced to fight for the rest of her life. If you're saying, can Rock go hang out with Roll? Obviously, they are brother and sister. I only really said Rush just because, you know, pet dog. Fun dog. Like, I love my sister. I love Deja. But if I want to go relax, I wouldn't blame someone for being like, go pet Oswald. Because I love my pet bunny. Oh my goodness, I haven't posted this anywhere yet. I gotta tell people. I don't know, because he's done this before, for sure, but he hasn't, like, developed it as a full skill. Which is why it's notable. But, like, yesterday I had Oswald out, and when I have Oswald out, I typically put him on my bed, because he keeps him out of trouble and gives him some space to run around. But the other day, he decided to hop off the bed, which is not something he regularly does. And I'd prefer he not, because then he'll, like, go up to power cords and chew them. So then we do the thing that we always do when Oswald kind of gets out, quote unquote, which is that he goes hopping out into the living room. I just follow him. He continues to he hops around in a circle, basically, comes back into my room, sometimes tries to find like a hiding space to be like, no, I do not want, do not capture me, before I get him again and put him back where he's supposed to be. But that happened yesterday, right? That whole song and dance happened yesterday. But then he hopped off my bed again, and when I turned around, I was like, Oswald. He hops right back up. And that was very cute. There is no denying that. Hopping down, being like, oh shit, he caught me. And then just hopping right back up. That made me chuckle. Oh, this is kind of open, isn't it? Okay. Well, in that case, we'll color in the hands with his skin tone real quick. And then we'll manually do the face. Actually, is Shulk... No, Shulk is like paler than him, if anything. Okay. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe I've heard people be like, yeah, grabbing skin tones just with a color picker, probably not the best practice. Like, it's not actually going to give you, like, a proper looking skin tone. Like that. But I mean, one, this is like a painting of a character, which does kind of change the math a bit. And then two, it's largely flat. So, but yeah, overall, I do kind of want to make sure I keep a semi-consistent, like, skin tone for the characters, unless they're wildly deviating from each other. Just because then I don't really have to worry about making it look hyper-realistic. It just then reads as like, oh, that's their skin. Ah, skin. Yes, this skin seems to be made out of skin. Have y'all ever sat for a minute? I could end the sentence there. Have y'all ever, like, sat and heard about, like, well, actually the layers of skin include, like, this and this and this and this. You're like, does it? It doesn't look that way when, like, I bruise my knee or what have you. And then also, you have, like, medical shows and what have you. And, like, they like, open someone up and there's not just blood everywhere. And maybe there's medicine, and maybe that's part of medicine, but... Because, you know, I get, like, a little paper cut, and bam, I'm bleeding. And then there's a decent amount of it. But, like, one, it makes my skin seem thin. And then two, the idea of someone being able to be like, them being like, I gotta open you up, I gotta stitch you up for this. This is gonna hurt a lot, but hang tight. And then, like, it's not just like, well, that's a puddle of blood. That seems wild to me. Maybe there's more medical science I need to learn. Almost certainly, I don't know a lot of medical science. If we're being so real right now, my medical knowledge, not a lot. Yeah, Pig? Pig, should I change it? Is this not what we're doing? Or are we good at this? Yeah, so that's different. Honestly, we could make this one of your emotes, Pig. That'd probably work. Just a lot of pigs, and then Chad Dunban, and then we got Rain, whose most detail featured is his abs, and then we got Fiora, who I thought was a little too potato-y at the start, but I actually, when I was finished with her, I thought she came out pretty good. So yeah, that's what we got so far. I do also love, because even when I was listening to, like, the Star of Your skit before I realized Dunban was in the party, I was like, well, he's the Chad here. But now the idea of him being lined up with the rest of the party members, that's even better. I was also saying, Pig, I was like, the idea that we could designate a Chad in every Xenoblade game. So then you, like, line up. Oh my lord, who's the mercenary guy in 2 with Rock? Do you know who I'm talking about? You do, because you love you love Xenoblade. You know who I'm talking about? I remember his subclass. That was the most Xenoblade I watched from you, just because of schedules. I like how I said that, like, that's the only part I like. No, that's just, I was around for that part. Like, he's there. Vandom, yeah. Babe. Can we make Vandom? Yeah, can we make Vandom the Chad? He's there for one scene and then he blows up. Like, just Dunban being around for so much of Xenoblade 1, and then we have Vandom show up. And this is like, oh my god, the new Chad in the party, and then he blows up. It's very sad. So, I mean, honestly, at this point, Pig, my priorities are doing the party and then probably bosses. Well, party, regular enemies, a B1 battle droid, and then bosses. And then maybe I'll move on to Xenoblade from there, unless you are like, no, we really need like this specific drawing for Xenoblade 1. Just because I definitely think getting... I think, in terms of like stuff to make from scratch and what have you, the main characters and like characters that have a big presence, those are important. Because to some degree, even if we do a bunch of stuff like real stylistically and cute for like the entire series, I think a lot of people will just read it as like, oh yeah, that's like a church, that's a, you know, that's a sword, that's an army, etc., etc. While meanwhile, like the characters and stuff, that will come across as like stylistic and what have you. So that's my gut go-to. Like if we just did the characters, and then me and Alphonse and stuff get to like editing, and what was I thinking of? And we fill in the gaps with like stock images, I think it would still come across stylistically as like, for example, a paper puppet show, like I've been doing so far. So that's where my priorities are at, getting the main guys out the way. And then I feel like we'll be set to start looking at some video scenes, even if we end up needing far more in terms of art, original art. Like to a degree, Pig, when I listen to your part talking about ether, I'm just thinking about Minecraft blocks. You're like crystal ether, and I think of a dirt block. I'm like, liquid ether water block. Man, you know, it makes me sad that FF7 has the materia system. Because I love the materia system. And no game is gonna do it. No game is gonna do it again. FF7 Remake doesn't have the materia system like it is in FF7 OG. And what I mean by that is like, each character plays wildly differently, and in the original, the main way that worked is by just what materia you had them equipped, you know? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if Cloud played differently from Tifa, it was because of how you put the materia in. I do need to... Well, so Pig, I was talking about games I need time for. I feel like one reason I haven't picked up like a whole bunch of different games is because I do want to get to FF8. What I want to do is I have FF4 to still play, and I got FF5 because everyone's like FF5 is the best, and I was like, I'm gonna I talked about classic Final Fantasy and people were just like FF5, and I was like, okay, Lord. But yeah, but what I mean, I guess I have to give it a shot before I get back to you on that, Pig, for sure. But still, like, Material was a super cool, simple yet complex way to make every character in your RPG like a customizable character. And Final Fantasy won't do it again because it's Final Fantasy and they do a new game every time, which is, you know, for better and worse. And other games won't do it because it's Final Fantasy VII, and everyone knows Final Fantasy VII. And if you take the time to make an indie JRPG, and everyone just ends up saying Final Fantasy VII, that's gonna that's gonna suck. other than me. I've seen a couple people, Beba. I don't think it's just you. You've definitely been vocal about it for sure. Actually, I think I saw like Joe Cat or someone be like, yeah, I love Final Fantasy 5. And for as much as I hear people, I believe Chair was saying he loves Final Fantasy 6. As much as I hear people say Final Fantasy 6 is one of the best games ever, I've dropped it twice. And I feel like I rarely see it on people when people are like, my favorite Final Fantasy. Meanwhile, I've seen... I didn't see 3 come up on a lot of people's. I don't think I've seen anyone say 3 is their favorite. But 1, that's a super early game. And I can completely understand that. But 2, like I've seen people say they love 4 the most, 5 the most, 6 sometimes. It's definitely not, you know, no one says it. 7, 8, But I definitely don't see 6 as common as the other ones, so. Also, apparently Magic the Gathering, I just remembered this. Speaking of Final Fantasy and JRPGs, apparently Magic the Gathering, a game I have no knowledge of. I'm still a Yu-Gi-Oh nerd, and people will be like, well, that game's worse. And I'm like, I know it is, but it's my garbage. But apparently Magic the Gathering is, you know, is doing a crossover with Final Fantasy, and the cards I saw was Y'shtola, I think that's 14, Terra 6, Cloud 7, and Titus 10. And honestly, I think Titus has the best card. If you were asking me, I think it is both good art and just in general helps to show what separates Titus from other Final Fantasy protagonists. So that's exciting. 4 and 6 and not 5. Well, I will get back to you once I play 5. I did do a little bit of research after I heard, again, Beba, I think, I can't remember specifically, but that's just because I'm awful with names, faces, and everything, and memory, 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 and just keep swimming, just keep swimming. What you do, you just keep swimming. But yeah, I after hearing a couple people talk about 5, I was like, okay, what's the best version? Because I have seen the Pixel remasters and I'm not the biggest fan. Even though I like that they exist, I'm not the biggest fan. And a lot of people like the Pixel remaster, so I got that on Switch a little bit ago. Around when I was playing Final Fantasy 3. So I feel, honestly, Pig, I feel like me getting 4 and 5 is good for 8, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to play 1 or 2, even though that's a very long endeavor, traditional Final Fantasy / JRPGs before diving into 8, just because, you know, part of 8's whole thing is how different it is from traditional RPGs, and getting ones that are slightly shorter than, like, let's say 9 or 10 is good, because then I can play them and be like, okay, I'm ready for 8, as opposed to playing them and only playing them forever. Yeah. I will say, last time I tried 6, I remember one of the things I liked is that they had a menu for, I just name him Guile every time, the fighters' combos and stuff, which is how you do any of his special attacks, which is good. Which, I'm not, and to be clear, Final Fantasy VI can be the greatest game ever made, and it's still just not for me, and that's okay. I'm not trying to detriment it. That being said, the fact that they split up your party, and for example, like one guy has combos you have to remember, that's something that always messes with me. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, if all these characters play unique, that's cool. I'd like time with them on the same party for a very extended period of time so I can learn how they play. So I definitely feel like that's one reason I haven't meshed with Final Fantasy. 10, not 10. I like 10. Final Fantasy 6 very much. I apologies. I don't know how many people know this. I think a lot of people know it now. Or like if the meme was made kind of without, you know, with the intention of people not knowing it or whatever. It is very funny playing Final Fantasy X, liking Final Fantasy X, and then realizing that one example of quote-unquote bad voice acting is meant to be a silly, stupid scene. Some people could call it emotional. I wouldn't even go that far. I'm not going to be like, it's a wildly emotionally charged. No. It is Titus trying to be goofy, if anything. For the sake of cheering his friend up, you know, yada yada yada, blah, blah, blah. There are way more emotional scenes in that game. It's funny. It's just funny knowing that it's like, oh yeah. People look at this scene and think, ah, they did a bad job. Not so. Honestly, the voice acting in 10 is pretty good from what I remember. Like, I definitely don't have any problems with, like, delivery of lines. Overall, you know? If anything, maybe it's just, like, 90s writing. Like, could have a problem with. The writing of a older RPG. Where, you know, things are a little awkwardly delivered. All things considered. Just because they were like, it's a game. We are not... Chad ban. We are not professional writers. We're just writing for a game. And then, you know, eventually they write enough games and get good enough at it that they're like, ah, I've improved. Alright, well... I mean, this is great, because... And then... That's great. Very into that. Alright. I think I'm going to cut off stream a little early tonight. We are going to be back with Marvel Rivals tomorrow night. So I hope to see y'all there. I thank you for hanging. Let's find someone good to raid. Oh. Let's just see. But yeah. So half the original Xenoblade cast to go. Extrapolating that out, that's a sixth of the Xenoblade party done. So I will speed up more in the future. And hopefully we'll have it done soon. For Dearest Pig. Who doesn't want Pig to succeed? Villains. Villains want that. You know what? Let's raid Lime. You know why? Because they're playing Final Fantasy 14. And, you know, we were extensively talking. This was a JRPG theme stream, and we were talking a decent amount about art JRPGs. But yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, I didn't even get to what I wanted to talk about. I was thinking if I have to cancel streams from now on, I will start doing makeup streams specifically on Wednesday. So we'll kind of like, I'm gonna start doing that next time I have to cancel a stream. But like, yeah. So if I have to, I've canceled on like, I think recently I've had to cancel a lot on like Tuesdays and Sundays. So if that happens, we'll go to Wednesday as like I want to make sure I do 3 streams a week minimum, and yada yada. I mean, if anything, me ending a little early tonight is a good example as to why I should do that, even if not everyone can make it. Just so that way I'm like still consistently doing more streams and used to just being like, yeah, let's stay up and stream a little bit, yada 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 yada. So, but yep, I appreciate y'all coming on by, and I will see you later. Have a good one. Oh wait, I didn't even. There we go. I want to put the raid out before I end stream at least. Okay. Oh. Is it? Well, is it? Did it? Hey. Now you hold on a second. I'm trying to. Is the raid going or not? I'm not trying to. I'm not even trying to be like, oh, let me go longer. Oh. No. Creator dashboard. It is you. I think. Raid. The meter is moving. Oh lord. Then I don't know what is currently happening. Wait, let me refresh. I'm so bad at this. Anyway, I'll see you around. Bye.